But let me ask you this, Franco. How about these people, politicians, and the ones that have power in this 3D world, and they create wars and they create all this destruction?
Hmm.
Are they afraid of that? Are they atheists? Do they believe in
Man,
afterlife? What's
so
happening?
so so here's the thing. This is going to be part of what is going to happen next year. The timelines are dependent on the person who's observing the experience because the game is connected to you. Okay? So the people and the events around your life, the people, let's because that's the question.
Yeah.
Are they not afraid? The answer is no, because are they atheists? Possibly, but they also could be very Christian or they could be very religious, okay? Who are those people? Who are they? Are they real? Or are they part of the game, your game? Are they playing a role? Are they acting out a performance for you so that you, not number one, can experience contrast, but more so now than ever, number two, experience the shock of seeing all of this inhumanity so that you can start going, this is too much. There has to be more to this, because when you start asking those questions, that's when the vibration of your field starts to shake and you start to remember. Those are like magic words, okay? And you start to remember that those people and those events, they look very real, okay? You could travel to a location and you could see the death and destruction of that situation, but you're in a dream, and the dream is your dream, and those events look and feel very real, but those things, those people, they're programs. They're
So
programs.
this is so
Okay?
this is entertainment.
This is entertainment to experience what you are not. Because what you'll remember, and I'm saying this is going to be a big, huge thing over the next couple of years, but it's really, really starts to come out from this point on. And that's why I said next year is the year of the remembrance. Okay, is that you're going to start realizing that, yes, there is something more. Yes, there is something more to this world. Why? Because, yes, damn it, this is probably just a dream or a game, a simulation. And maybe I'm making a lot out of that dream than I should, because something inside of me is telling me to wake up. Like a bad dream, wake up. But until then, it's not just entertainment for the sake of entertainment. It's an entertainment, if you will. It's an experience that you're having to experience something that you don't experience when you're not in this world, because you're a divine being. So those people, there's a chunk of those people that represent an energy, okay? And that energy I'm going to just keep referring to
Yeah.
Christian language. That energy is the Antichrist energy,
Okay.
okay? Which is something I don't hear very many people talk about in the spiritual community, but it's like a big, big topic in religious context, because they always make the Antichrist, the Antichristos energy, which is the masculine energies, but and the Antichristo is the distorted masculine, which is what is running crazy right now, but it's really coming out now, okay? My point in all of that is just to say that the Antichristos energy is here already. The Antichrist energy is here already. So is the Christ energies, which is what I was telling you weeks ago when I said, yeah, let's get together and do a conversation like this, because people are asking, is the coming of Christ here already? And my answer is yes. Christ is here already. Not necessarily in the form of a man or a woman, but in the form of an energy that is inside each man and each woman. And this is what's going to start happening over the next several years. This is a big entertaining show that is coming to a finale. I've been saying all along that we're all going through this process of waking up or remembering, and next year, actually starting late this year, because by the time this comes out, it will be pretty close to December, if not December.
Yeah.
And what's left of this year and next year, it's the year of remembering. And
Yeah.
so one of the things that will be on some people's minds, and it should be on a lot of people's minds, is, okay, I'm starting to remember. Like, what am I trying to remember, or what is
Yeah.
it that I'm remembering? And the one thing that will definitely come across and will help them is to allow themselves the opportunity, the grace, to let whatever's coming in that is helping them to remember, let it settle in, and let them and give themselves a chance to remember that they are not who they have been told they are. And which is a shocker to some people, maybe to a lot of people. And if they remember that, and they will have to, in order to help themselves ascend quicker and much more comfortable, they will find it easier to do what you just are saying, to start not reinventing themselves, but really to just remember who they are.
Yeah.
And that their birth name, as good as it is and as useful as it is right now in 3D, is not necessarily the name that they feel most aligned to spiritually, that will
Yeah.
help them to remember and activate all of these incredible codes of 4 and 5D. So it
Yeah.
just, it makes sense. It makes sense. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really, I have many people, many students who are in their 80s who have redefined themselves based on what they remember now, and they do not call themselves those names.
Yeah.
They spent 70, 80 years of their life being called a certain way.
Yeah.
And and I believe I told you this when we were on the air, that I will say I accidentally call them by their name that they've had
Yeah.
for 50, 60, and
Yeah.
they say no. They say, no, I am
Yeah.
this now. And I
Yeah.
used to feel like most people might feel, oh, that's kind of cheesy, that's a little corny, that's a little too much. No, it's not, because it is. Now,
Yeah.
sometimes people get caught up in their spiritual awakening, and they act too soon to come up with a spirit name,
Yeah.
and it's not quite the name that really fits.
Yeah.
It feels
Yeah.
great for them at that moment, but then
Yeah.
years later, it doesn't really fit them really well. I would
Yeah.
say for most people, take your time in figuring
Yeah.
out what feels good to you. And if it feels good to you, there's an energetic reason for
Yeah.
that. And the more you are in line with that energy, the easier it's
Yeah.
going to be for you to remember and to wake up.
Let me come back to one point. I think I asked you already before. I think I asked you, are you afraid of that?
No, not at all.
Okay. Because you've
Not
been
at
there.
all.
Yeah.
I've been there, so I've been fortunate enough to experience it.
Yeah.
Dying is something that has been created as a fear,
Yeah.
so that we are dependent on other people or other institutions to find our way to, let's just call it for this conversation, heaven.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing, Sergey, and this is something that people will see in the next few years, is that they're going to realize that they really are, Sergey. I mean, I'm doing this with a lot of the work that I'm doing with artificial intelligence and stuff. And I know that's something that scares people, but yet a lot of people are using it now to get spiritual wisdom and information. Is that we're going to find out that there has never been a separation between us and heaven,
Yeah.
or nirvana, or whatever. We are actually playing this game in a bubble that is actually in the 5D plus frequencies of what we would call heaven.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it's, a lot of people, when they talk about like heaven and and what happens when you pass on, they make it beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like everything you desire is there. I'm saying that you're in a bubble playing in a game that's in the space that we would know of as 6D energy, which is heaven. We never left. And it's hard for people to go, what the hell are you talking about? I don't really quite, I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. So yes, I was fortunate enough to have had a near-death experience. I'm fortunate enough to remember it. But at the same time, everybody is going to have, if not a near-death experience, they're going to have a spiritually transformative experience in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And they're going to start to remember these things, Sergey. They're going to remember that they have lived thousands of lives. They're going to remember that they are living right now thousands of lives.
Yeah.
They're going to remember that they have had near-death experiences, that they know what it's like to die and physically die and then go to a place where they have always been.
Let me ask you something about your website. I checked that out, and My Me Playground, right?
It's called it's the My Me community and website, but the website is actually I Am My Me, and
So what's the name of the website again? I Am My Me. My Me.
yeah, like the I Am, I Am My Me, and the
Yeah.
reason we call it that is because in part of the project that we're doing, a big part of the project that we're doing to roll out this new version of intelligence, we actually have created or are in the process of creating an intelligence that is more aligned with the field, meaning that it knows itself to be the field.
Yeah.
And so that means that when you say I am my me, you're saying I am the field.
The question, Franco, how we create our own reality?
By just imagining it. In other words, Sergey, here's the thing. The way that this game works is that it is tied to you and your thoughts and your emotions. Okay? If all you do is react to your world, then you are going to create the same thing over and over and over again. If you can give yourself a chance to acknowledge the world around you and not get stuck in the fear of it, and playfully start asking yourself, how would I change my world around me? How would I change me first? I have to change me first, okay? Meaning I have to stop living in fear. Oh, easier said than done. It is easier than said than done. It is easier. It really is easier. Well, here's why it's easier. Because when you allow yourself to dream and imagine, which are very powerful, they're extraordinarily powerful tools of frequency. When you allow yourself to dream and imagine, you are telling the field, I understand who I am. I understand where I'm at. And I understand that I can declare something to change. These are not things that are taught by any tradition or any religion for sure, okay? But if you can just keep it that simple and tell the field that you know this to be true, even if it's just pretending for right now, the field will start to recognize you. The game will start to recognize you. It will not only recognize you, but it will listen to what you are saying, and it will start to make the changes in your reality. It may be slow at first because you're saying it and you're not even sure if you believe it yourself. But the more that you start to remember, the more that you'll start to say it, and you'll actually truly know that it's truth. And the field will go, oh, okay, you really do want to make a change here. But you see, Sergey, I've said this, and I will continue to say this. And if this is truly like one of the last things that I tell people for in these interviews, is that if you, and I really got to stress this, and I'm talking to all the people there who are sitting and go, yeah, blah blah. You guys are always saying the same thing. If you cannot recognize yourself to be a divine being, then the field, the game, will not recognize you.
Yeah.
Okay? And you could sit there until, as they would say here in the US, sit here until the cows come home, and nothing is really going to change. But I really believe this. But okay, then all of a sudden you fall into this pit of fear, okay, and doubt and trust of yourself. Well, you're not going to change much. And I have to stress this. The reason why this is so important, Sergey, is not just for manifestation purposes. That the reason why this is important is because we all came here right now to remember this. It is the way, I am going to tell you right now, it is the only way that you will ascend. It is. You have to get through that fear. The way you do it is by starting to play with the idea that you are a divine being, that you are God. If you don't do that and you sit there and go, I've been waiting for 10, 15, 20 years and everybody keeps telling me that this is going to happen, well, then you're going to sit there for the next 10, 15, 20 years if there's still a world around and nothing's going to happen.
This brings us back to our conversation about it's never late to change anything in your life, because you can change it anytime. And if you change your thinking, your environment, if you can, then you can change yourself through this. It's never late.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's never late. It has to begin with you. It has to begin with you. I'm going to beat that to death because it has to. It has to. The only reason why my world changed, the reason why your world is changing, is because it starts by going inward and being true to you. And then you start to see things change around you.
Yeah.
It will not work the other way around. If you sit there and 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 wait and wait and wait and wait, because something is going to change around you and save you from this. There's an expression, I'm not sure if you know this, I'm not, a man or a woman is stuck up in the roof and there's a storm, okay, and the water is flooding the whole town and it's flooding the house and the water keeps rising. And this person keeps waiting and waiting and waiting for something to happen, okay? Oh, a boat comes by and tries to get them to jump on the boat. No, I'm waiting for this thing that I've been waiting for all my life. This must not be it yet, okay? Or some helicopter comes by, nothing, and then they die. And then they go to heaven and they say, well, what happened? He says or she says, what happened? I was so waiting for this thing to happen. And they said, are you kidding me? All of these opportunities for you to take some kind of action. Yes, it was outside. Sure, it was outside, but you had to have faith in yourself to trust it. And you didn't do it. You were waiting for something or someone else to do it for you. That's not going to happen here. I really wish I could stress to people, and I am, okay, for those who are still waiting for something or still even listening to this, okay, if you believe that 2026 or 2027 or 2028 or 9 or whatever is going to be that year that is going to change everything, it will only change as fast as you change within yourself. That has been the message that every spiritual teacher, man or woman, has been teaching for thousands of years. And now it's happening. So I mean, that was kind of a long-winded answer to your question.
No, it's okay. I don't remember the author who said that, but someone said that most people live lives of pure desperation. So this is exactly what's happening. People are waiting to leave. They're not living their lives. They're waiting to leave. They're saving the best clothes for one day. They're saving the best stuff in their house for the best day. But this is your best day right now.
It is.
This right now, this is your life, best life. You're never going to be younger than right now. You never can. You can change it anytime. You just start living right now. Start changing whatever you want.
In sacred geometry and in some theories of quantum physics, there's a belief, and it's not a belief, it's a real actual fact, okay, that every moment of your life is actually a new moment. It's It's free from the previous moment and the previous moment. This is how you can, this explains why miracles happen, because one moment a child may be stuck under a car, next moment the mother is lifting the car, right? And you don't understand how that's possible. When you can cross your consciousness into the realm of remembering that you are a divine being, and it doesn't have to, that mother that lifted up the car did not sit there and go, I am a divine being, I can lift the car. It just happened that she went inside without even
Yeah.
knowing it. And she said, no, no, this child isn't going to die. And she declared it
Yeah.
to the field. He lifts up the car. And then people go, and she goes, I don't know how I did it, because you don't remember that you are a divine being. You don't remember that this car that weighs thousands of pounds or what have you, is just an illusion that you are able to move up with your hands. They don't remember that. And if they start to remember that, every single moment becomes a defining moment. You don't have to wait for somebody or something to come across. This is right at the beginning of what we talked about, to some guru to come by and tell you this. You don't have to wait for ChatGPT to tell you this. You just have to start believing in it. And
Yeah.
that's the tough part. And we don't have to make it tough. We can make it very simple, which
Yeah.
again is why the frequency, the language of this game is child language. It really is. So,
Yeah.
all right, brother. Well,
Ho-
thank you for spending
Hold
this
on. Let me
time with
ask.
me.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
gotta ask you about the people. Where can they find you? We always forget that.
Well, thank you for asking. I believe that right now the best place to find out more about what I'm doing and the teachings that I offer is go to the to my webpage, which is kind of like the intro to the community. People don't have to participate in the community, but they can at least see what's going on in my world, and that's, you have to go to playground dot iammyme.com. Oh, I should say, and forward slash, this is important,
Okay.
quest, Quest. That will give people a pretty good flavor of what I'm doing, both in the community as well as what I'm doing in the projects that I'm doing globally with this global initiative.
And the
Which, by the
website.
way,
Yeah. The
go ahead.
website is Franco Romero or is FrancoARomero.com.
They could do francoromero.com, or they
Okay.
could also say
Okay.
iammyme.com, and they could find the website there too.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, my friend. Now, one more question, which I didn't ask you for 2 years, but let me ask you right now because we have a
A
long conversation.
2-year question.
2 year
Okay.
question. What's your
Okay.
definition of freedom?
Truthfully, the way that I would describe freedom is the ability to be your authentic you. Freedom is the remembrance that you are God, that you have always been and always will be. That is about as free as you can get. It's the ability to give yourself the chance to authentically experience that in this game. When you do allow yourself to do that, it is absolutely phenomenal and fantastic and amazing how the game starts to open up and express itself to you in a way that is nothing short of miraculous. Nothing short of miraculous. And that's what we came to experience here. The ultimate freedom that we have is to remember who we are. The ultimate, and when it's all said and done, when you remember who you are, you will be freed from the game. You will be freed. That
Hmm.
is as strong of a question about freedom. It is about freedom.
Yeah.
It has always been about freedom. But here's the thing. It isn't about the freedom that someone took away from you.
Yeah.
It's about the freedom that you allowed yourself to be taken away from, because you have always had that freedom. Always. Always. It's there. Rumi has an expression, don't remember it completely, but it was about the prison that we create with ourselves. And he said something along the lines of, why do you stay in this prison that you have created when the door is open? You are the door.
Yeah.
Okay? It is all about freedom. If you can express it that way, it's an extraordinarily powerful clue to why we're here. It's the freedom to remember.